Found out my fiance cheated a year ago. Should I stay? Floral arrangements were finalized. Hydrangeas. Mark knew I loved hydrangeas. He'd even secretly planted a few in our tiny balcony garden last spring, a surprise that made me tear up. I was marrying a man who knew how to love. That's what I thought anyway. I was spring cleaning, a pathetic attempt to feel like I was controlling anything, amidst the avalanche of wedding planning. Underneath a pile of old instruction manuals in the back of the junk, I found Mark's old phone. He'd upgraded to a new one months ago. Curiosity, or maybe a subconscious premonition, made me plug it in. It buzzed to life. The screen was cracked, but I managed to navigate to his old messages. I scrolled back past the usual texts from his buddies, appointment reminders, and the occasional "I love you, babe." Then I saw it. A text from Lisa. Lisa from Mark's office. Early last year. Last night was intense. I hope we can still be professional at the retreat today. My breath hitched. Intense? What kind of professional intensity involved texting at 3 a.m.? I scrolled further. Mark's reply a few hours later, definitely. No repeats. Just, got carried away, see you later. No repeats. Got carried away. The world tilted. I reread the messages, then again and again. Hoping, praying that I was misinterpreting them. Maybe they were talking about a particularly aggressive brainstorming session. Maybe, God, I was grasping at straws. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. The hydrangeas suddenly looked mocking. Emily, my best friend since kindergarten, was the first person I called. She listened, her silence punctuated only by the occasional "oh, Sarah" or "damn." "You need to ask him, Sarah," she said, her voice firm. "Don't let this fester. You deserve the truth." I knew she was right, but the thought of confronting Mark, of hearing him confirm my worst fears, paralyzed me. The next few days were a blur. I tried to act normal, to smile and nod during wedding vendor appointments. But inside, I was crumbling. Every time Mark touched me, kissed me, told me he loved me, I felt a wave of nausea. Was it all a lie? Had he been lying to me for the past year? He noticed something was wrong. "You okay, babe?" You seemed distant. "Just stressed about the wedding," I mumbled, avoiding his eyes. "I can help. What can I do?" The irony was almost unbearable. He wanted to help. He probably thought a back rub and a glass of wine would fix everything, if only he knew. I tried to do some digging, subtle as possible. I called David, Mark's best friend, under the pretense of needing help with the seating chart. "Hey, do you remember that company retreat Mark went on last year? Did he seem different when he got back?" David chuckled. "Different? Nah, just the usual hungover mess." "Why? No reason," I said quickly, just curious. David was useless. He was always useless. Then there was Lisa. I saw her at a mutual friend's birthday party. She was talking to Mark, laughing. They were standing close, too close. I watched them, dissecting every glance, every gesture. Was I imagining things, or was there a certain familiarity between them? A shared secret? I excused myself to the bathroom and stared at my reflection. My eyes were bloodshot, my skin pale. I looked like a ghost. That night I dreamt that Mark was standing at the altar, but his face was blurred. He was holding hands with a woman in a white dress, but it wasn't me. It was Lisa. I woke up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding. I started looking up divorce lawyers online, just in case. I felt like a crazy person, planning a wedding and a divorce simultaneously. The weight of it all was crushing me. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep. I was living in a constant state of anxiety. I needed to know the truth, no matter how much it hurt. One evening, after we'd finished dinner, I took a deep breath and plunged in. "Mark, can we talk?" He looked up from his phone, his brow furrowed with concern. "Of course, babe. What's wrong?" I found your old phone." His face paled slightly. "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I saw some messages." He swallowed hard. "What messages?" "Messages between you and Lisa." He stared at me, his eyes wide. He opened his mouth to speak, then closed it again. "About that retreat last year." He didn't say anything. "Mark, please, just tell me the truth." He looked down at his hands, avoiding my gaze. He picked at a loose thread on his jeans. "It was a mistake, Sarah. A stupid, drunken mistake." The words hit me like a physical blow. I felt the tears welling up in my eyes. "What happened?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. He finally looked at me, his eyes filled with remorse. We had too much to drink. One thing led to another. It was just one time, I swear. I regretted it instantly. "One time," I repeated, my voice rising. "One time. You cheated on me, I know," he said, his voice cracking. "And I'm so sorry. It didn't mean anything. It was just a stupid mistake. A mistake. A mistake," I screamed. "You betrayed me, Mark. You betrayed our relationship. You betrayed everything we've built together." I know," he pleaded. "Please, Sarah, just listen to me." It was a moment of weakness. I was feeling insecure about my job. Lisa was coming on to me. I should have stopped it, but I didn't. "I'm so sorry." Lisa was coming on to you. I repeated, incredulous. So it's her fault. No, it's my fault. I take full responsibility. I'm trying to explain why it happened. Why it happened, I shouted. There's no excuse, Mark. None. I love you, Sarah, he said, his voice desperate. I love you more than anything. Please don't throw our relationship away because of one stupid mistake. One stupid mistake. I repeated, my voice trembling. This isn't just some parking ticket. Mark, this is about trust, about loyalty, about everything I thought we argued for hours. I cried, I screamed, I accused. He begged, he pleaded, he apologized. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. I need space, I said, my voice flat. I need to think. I packed a bag and left. I went to Emily's apartment and collapsed on her couch, sobbing. The next morning, I woke up with a splitting headache and a heavy heart. Emily made me coffee and sat beside me, her arm around my shoulders. What are you going to do, Sarah? She asked gently. I shook my head. I don't know, I just don't know. I spent the next few days in a fog. I didn't go to work, I didn't answer my phone. I just lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. Mark called constantly. He left messages, pleading with me to talk to him, to forgive him. He even showed up at Emily's apartment one evening, uninvited. Please, Sarah, he said, his eyes red and swollen. Just give me a chance to explain. I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll quit my job. I'll do whatever it takes to win you back. I looked at him, at the man I thought I knew so well, and I felt a mix of anger, sadness, and confusion. Did I still love him? I honestly didn't know. Could I ever trust him again? That was the question that haunted me. I started seeing a therapist. She was good. She listened patiently as I poured out my heart. You need to decide what you want, Sarah, she said. Do you want to try to salvage the relationship, or do you want to move on? There's no right or wrong answer. It's your decision. My mom called. Sarah, dear, I always thought Mark was such a good man. Solid. Dependable. Are you sure you're not overreacting? A little forgiveness can go a long way, especially before a wedding. Think about all the family coming. Mark's mom called too. Sarah, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. Mark is a good boy deep down. He made a mistake, a terrible one, but he's truly heartbroken. He loves you so much. Please don't let this ruin your happiness. She started crying. One afternoon, I decided to go back to our apartment. I needed to pick up some clothes. As I walked through the door, I noticed a small white envelope on the kitchen counter. It was addressed to me, in Mark's handwriting. Inside, there was a letter. He wrote about his regret, his shame, his unwavering love for me. He wrote about his fears of losing me, of losing everything we had built together. He promised to spend the rest of his life trying to earn back my trust. The last line of the letter read, I know I messed up, Sarah. I know I hurt you deeply. But please, just give me one more chance. I promise I won't let you down again. That night, I agreed to meet Mark for coffee. I told him I had made a decision. I was ready to tell him what it was. He was already there when I arrived, sitting at a table by the window, his face pale and anxious. He stood up as I approached, his eyes searching mine. Sarah, he said, his voice barely a whisper. Thank you for coming. I sat down across from him. I took a deep breath. Mark, I began, I've thought a lot about everything that's happened, and I've made a decision. Before I could say anything else, a woman walked up to our table. It was Lisa. She looked directly at Mark, then at me, and said, Mark, we need to talk. It's important. She paused, placing a hand on her stomach. I'm pregnant. I stared at Mark, my face a mask of shock. He looked back at me, his eyes filled with terror. The words caught in my throat. I couldn't breathe. What now?